It was wonderful to see so many young, talented legal change makers sharing their journey and vision with us today, and it was incredible. Believe me, they've covered every point which the legal world is looking at, and BW Legal World is proud to have all of you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, moving on, we have Miss Meghna Mishra, partner, Karanjawala and Company, and she's going to be speaking on a very interesting topic of pre-litigation mediation. Let's give her a big round of applause and welcome.
Hi.
Hi, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Very good evening. First of all, my heartiest congratulations to all the winners of the BW Legal 40 Under 40. And I wish all of them all the very best in their journey. And thank you for Rehman for inviting me here today. My colleague Siddharth, who just spoke before me, has already explained in some detail about mediation. What I want to discuss today is pre-litigation mediation and whether the time for that has come. If we think of what are the biggest issues which are faced today by the legal system in India, most of us would probably say that it is delay. The second perhaps would be inadequate judge strength. To discuss the first difficulty, which is delay, I think it is the bitter truth that justice delayed is justice denied. And the second, which is the inadequate judge strength, I feel that is more easily addressable. I want to quote Nani Palkiwala, who had once remarked that our cases drag over a length of time which makes eternity intelligible. To quote him, the law may or may not be an ass, but in India, it is certainly a snail. Justice has to be blind, but I see no reason why it should be lame. So when cases remain unresolved for many years, it hurts both society and economy. A large proportion of the Indian population has in fact indeed become disenchanted with the way our Indian legal system functions. I think steps can be taken in both directions to rectify these issues. In April of 2016, the then Honorable Chief Justice of India, T.S. Thakur, he had suggested additional 70,000 judges to clear the pending cases, pointing to the inadequacy of judicial strength as the prime cause. So, inadequate judge strength is perhaps one of the reasons for the backlog. But to just compare the situations in our country and in other jurisdictions. Now, in India, for example, we have about only 13.05 judges per million people. Now, compare this number with, say, Australia, which has 58 judges per million. Canada has 75. United Kingdom has 100. And United States of America has 130 judges per million. So while increasing judicial strength will of course go a long way to solve the problem, it may not solve this problem entirely. As Siddharth mentioned, the adversarial approach that we have in dispute resolution, that is a time-consuming process. And in my view, it may not be sustainable in the long run. In a country where we are now looking at 3 crore plus cases, and that is the pendency today, now with a delay of perhaps 6 months or more, which has been caused by COVID-19. Now, this could push back the already very clogged system by many more years. So the issue that I want to raise today is whether Now that after the pandemic is over, are we now going to resort and go back to the old ways of litigating? Should we go back to the old way? Or perhaps we can learn a lesson or two. Because the effect of the pandemic on the way that we work, if we just examine that, plenty of work has got done without the need to resort for the old ways of doing them. It was unimaginable that courts could ensure delivery of justice in the midst of a pandemic on a virtual mode. I think full points to the judiciary and the lawyers as well, because the system has indeed shown that it is working very well. Now, many things which we felt were vital, now we realize that they seem to have been overrated. The fact is that perhaps time has come to think and act differently, whether it is the way we live or the way we conduct our business or we go about dispute resolution. Over the years of my litigation practice, I have personally seen several clients, individuals and companies give up pursuing their rights because they are bogged down by the procedures, the costs, the delays that plague the system. Now, mediation is one of the alternative dispute resolution mechanisms which can be used to achieve an out-of-court settlement. ADR does seem to me to be a shining beacon of light and a chance for lawyers to provide quick access to justice to their clients. Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice S.A. Bobde, in February of this year, had remarked that pre-litigation mediation is the need of the hour to avoid delaying justice and for early disposal of cases which are mounting. He said, I think the time is ripe to devise a comprehensive legislation which contains compulsory pre-litigation mediation. One aspect which we must consider is that we somehow also need to prevent, apart from clearing the backlog, is the entry of fresh cases in the court in the very first instance. Now, this has been successfully done by various alternative methods. I think here arbitration has proved to be very successful in commercial disputes. And while Commercial Court Act does mandate pre-litigation mediation for commercial disputes, it has not worked as well as one would have hoped. And in my view, it is indeed need of the hour that certain categories of civil disputes, like matrimonial, like property, for these kind of disputes, mandatory pre-mediation should be introduced. This has been done in Italy in 2013. And for about 13 categories of civil disputes, pre-mediation has been made mandatory. So mediation as such has become, no doubt, a method which people are looking at as a viable method of dispute resolution. It has gained some popularity, but I feel that the court annexed mediation is what has taken off and not the pre-litigation mediation as such. And yes, the various private mediations through centers attached to the courts in different parts of the country, they have reported considerable success. But I want to look at a situation where mediation can be looked at to resolve the disputes very quickly. So what is the essential difference between taking a matter to litigation and taking it through the mediation process? In litigation, it is essentially a blame game. And Claims have to be proved. Whereas in mediation, which is an alternative method and route to resolve these disputes, it is by nature non-adversarial, and it will culminate in an outcome which is most often a win-win for both parties, in the sense that they both will feel that they have not lost in a mediated settlement. Unlike if you contrast this with a court judgment, where one party is normally adjudged a winner and the other a loser. So that, I think, is the essential difference, and the reason why, according to me, mediation is something that needs to be explored a lot more. So while arbitration has been explored for commercial disputes, mediation, which according to me has a broader reach, because in addition to commercial disputes, it can also be used for other multiple kinds of civil and quasi-criminal matters. So mediation can obviously be post-litigation, which is the court-referred mediation, or it can be pre-litigation mediation. So when parties undertake mediation independent of the court proceeding, then it is termed as pre-litigation mediation. So the mandatory pre-litigation mediation as a way forward to ensure that less and less disputes enter the court system and get resolved outside of the court, so that unlike at the moment, our courts then become the measure of last resort rather than being the first choice. Mandatory pre-litigation mediation puts the ball in the court of the parties involved. Rather than looking at an external agency like court, it will urge them to engage with each other and resolve disputes. This mandatory mediation meeting is an opportunity for both parties, their counsels, to meet with a professional, trained, neutral mediator at a neutral place where they can learn about the process and decide whether they want to give themselves an opportunity to collaboratively settle the dispute. If after this mandated initial session, parties are amenable to try and settle the dispute through mediation, then the process can start right away. However, should parties decide not to proceed with this mediation, then this requirement will be deemed to have been fulfilled. In India, thus far, mediation has been recognized as an alternative form of dispute settlement in the CPC under section 89(1)(d), which is the court annex mediation, and as Siddharth already discussed, in the Arbitration and Conciliation Act in part 3, which discusses about conciliation. And there are several other statutes which also discuss and include mediation provisions like the Consumer Protection Act, the Companies Act, the RERA, and Commercial Court Act, of course, under 12A mandates the requirement for a pre-institution mediation. But if this happens only if there is no urgent interim relief which is sought. So the Supreme Court has also discussed the idea of pre-litigation mediation in the context of family disputes. They have held that often matrimonial disputes are worsened by pursuing litigation. In Ayodhya, Babri Masjid matter, which was perhaps one of the most political and religiously significant matter in the Indian context, the Supreme Court of India referred the parties to mediation, which shows that mediation is now certainly being viewed as a realistic, viable alternative to resolve disputes. Now, to very quickly try and see what has been the international experience in this regard. So, like I mentioned, Italy was one jurisdiction which has successfully put mandatory pre-mediation in force. Other jurisdictions such as Singapore, France, Germany, United States of America, they all promote pre-litigation mediation. And they have had this for some time now. The settlement agreements which arise out of such mediations are enforceable in a court of law. So, mandatory mediation with an easy opt-out has proven to generate a substantial number of mediations in several jurisdictions, especially in the European Union. In 2013, Italy, when it faced a high rate of pendency of cases, had adopted what is referred to as the opt-out mandatory mediation. It introduced a law for mandatory pre-litigation mediation for certain disputes like partition, joint ownership of property, before a matter was filed in court. So, there in Italy, it has shown great success rate over the years. USA is recognized as one of the advanced systems of ADR usage and implementation, and mediation is considered a profession. For example, in California, they have implemented mandatory mediation in family cases, specifically where child custody and visitation are an issue. So now, this is broadly where we stand, and now to address what according to me is the way forward. I think the number one thing to look at is I think it is time to devise a comprehensive legislation on mediation, which includes compulsory pre-litigation mediation for certain categories. And we want to now move from an era of post-litigation mediation to pre-litigation mediation. And a legislation will probably give clarity, credibility, legitimacy, and recognition that it requires. In the beginning, certain categories of individual civil disputes can perhaps be done on a trial basis, such as those relating to, like I mentioned, property or matrimonial matters, and the learning that we derive from that, then we can extend it further to other cases. The other suggestion, the mediation center of our Delhi High Court, Samadhan, is doing phenomenal work. Now, more such mediation centers can be set up. The other suggestion would be, when I look forward, would be a robust mediation bar. Now, just as there are in international jurisdictions, because this is critical to the development of mandatory mediation in India, and it will ensure availability and accessibility of practitioners who have the knowledge and experience and expertise. Again, I'm happy to say that our Delhi High Court Bar has many excellent trained mediators. To ensure good quality of mediators, it is necessary to professionalize the practice of mediation. It is necessary to incentivize people to become whole-time mediators, to ensure that they provide and continue to provide high-quality services. Something like this, akin to what has happened to arbitration. Now there are identified arbitration practitioners in India. And similarly, one can look forward to lawyers handling mediation work being recognized. The mediation centers in Delhi have shown a success rate of 35%, which is extremely encouraging. Now, lawyers of the future need to develop a range of adversarial and consensual methods to resolve disputes. They must use the process judiciously and appropriately. If one is familiar only with adversarial, then the tendency will be to use it indiscriminately, which causes harm to the litigant. To end, I would like to share my mantra when advising a client that if a settlement is a possibility, it must be explored. If by a little give and take an issue can be resolved, then that is the preferred. And it is the route which is quick, cost effective. And usually participants involved will leave with a positive sense of resolution, which is indeed the need of the hour. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your thoughts and enlightening us on the current aspects of mediation, arbitration, and the alternative dispute resolution. Ma'am, a question to you is, why do we still have that current resistance about this? If it's globally been successful, while we are still getting on to pre-litigation mediation, we sense a sort of apprehension from maybe businesses or citizens. What would be some of those reasons?
Well, like I said, the primary reason is that it has not been identified and acknowledged by way of a legislation. So it is still seen something that the court asks you to do. You do find a lot of people who are forced to go to the mediation center and they are not serious. And that now is another tier of time which has gone waste, if I may say so.
Yes,
so
that's true.
That is what we need to work on. And just like arbitrations initially when we brought them, they were seen as just one more tier. And then the act was tightened and the appellate structure was put in place, which was tighter. And now commercially, you don't find that hesitation anymore. And therefore, I'm saying that perhaps now is the time to seriously look at it. And in fact, in January, the Chief Justice has said, and in fact set up a committee of people to draft a bill, which they then intend to send to the government, that please get this in place. So the time has in fact come a little earlier. But I'm saying that in this pandemic, with so much learning that we have had, let us put it to good use going forward and bring about a positive change.
That's true, ma'am. And before, ma'am, as your last note to our young achievers and others, what would be your advice to them to be a successful mediator or a litigator? What should they be doing right now to be successful in their careers?
So as of now, the distinction between a mediator and a litigator, that difference has not come about. But having said that, we should not have this apprehension that by sending a client or by suggesting and advising a client that go and try and negotiate a settlement, you lose the client. Because at the end of the day, what we must remember that what is of paramount importance is the client's interest and not your own. And if we keep that focus in mind and we realize, and sometimes you see the distance, Ashima, to be traveled is not so much. And in the mediation that can be done. And in fact, I have personally handled mediations where several hundreds of crores were involved and parties have settled in the mediation center of the Delhi High Court. So it is very much doable. So I would request all my colleagues and all the shining lawyers under 40 that they should not look at mediation as something which is not to be looked at in seriousness. It is very much an alternate resolution mechanism, and I'm hoping that the government will come up with the legislation soon.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I hope that opens a lot more career options for our generation next of lawyers. And thank you for sharing your thoughts and addressing all our queries today. Thank you so much, ma'am. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Most welcome. Pleasure is mine. Thank you.